Sonoma Raceway lies right in the middle of the San Francisco Bay Area and Napa Valley's lush wine country, and in the middle of the 30th uninterrupted consecutive year of World Challenge competition, we return to where it all began in 1990. Welcome to Sonoma Raceway for Round 8 of the Blancpain GT World Challenge America. This is a venue with a significant reputation, as it is truly a track that presents teams with enormous technical challenges.
I think Sonoma has a lot of elevation, has a lot of turns, twisty turns, is really low grip this weekend. So from that perspective, it's going to be a challenge. It's always hard to pass, particularly with the S's. And we've gone to a new track configuration, the FIA configuration, which is slightly different than what we've run in the past. So I think it's a new configuration for a lot of drivers. We'll see how it all shakes out.
And the series is extremely competitive as it attracts the world's global GT elite.
Well, the GT3 class has a lot of competition. Obviously, the pros are best in the world, and the Pro-Am is incredibly competitive. Some of the drivers that we're with have won lots of races in Europe and in other places. You know, when we think about sort of the worldwide nature of SRO and GT3, so it's always competitive, and it's going to be a great time.
Capex Racing comes in with both cars in the top 3 in points, and the team is based right here at Sonoma Raceway, so it is a welcome homecoming. But by the team's own admission, it could potentially also be a rather difficult one.
It's definitely not the best track for our car, to be honest, although it's our home track in terms of the team being based here. It's not the track that suits our Bentley. I think Porsche and Ferrari will be very quick here. It's a shorter wheelbase car that suits the slow corners more than ours. We are very competitive in high-speed tracks such as Canada, Virginia, Watkins Glen. Those type of tracks suit our car very much, but this one is not our favorite in terms of performance. So I think we'll have to try and score the maximum amount of points, be on the podium if possible, and fight with the title contenders that, as far as we can see so far, is obviously the Ferrari and our teammates.
And Andy also mentioned the speed of the Porsche, and North America's factory Porsche pilot is going to introduce you to this venue.
Welcome to Sonoma Raceway. I'm Patrick Long, driver of the 58 Wright Motorsports Porsche GT3R. This is one lap of a technical, bumpy, and old school racetrack. I love it. Turn 1, big bump on the outside. Some of the drivers hold it left here. You're fighting the car up to turn 2, second gear. Watch your throttle down here. You don't want to burn up your rear tires. It's going to be a attrition and game of preservation and tires. This is 3 and 3A. Very little braking. Completely blind here. You don't know where the end of the road is until you're there. Rush down into turn 4. Second gear. Breathe the throttle. Be patient on throttle. Again, build your speed back up. Flat out through turn 5. Approaching the carousel. Again, completely blind as you shoot over the corner. It's over 120 miles an hour. A little bit loose oversteer on the way in. You're building your speed. Third gear, going to shift up to 4th and enter the back straightaway, which is part of the drag strip here at Sonoma. Now we're veering left, which is new this year. You'll see some dark patches here in the brake zone. Those are extra little pockets of grip. Bottom of second gear, very, very slow. This is 50 miles an hour. Some are using first gear here as we build through turn 7. Now we're going back into the fast, high-speed switchback section. Turns 8A. Quick 4th gear, 120 miles an hour, shifting up to 5th. Sometimes this time I'm going to stretch 4th all the way down into a very tight technical corner. Turn 9, it's a hairpin, very difficult to pass here, but you can set your competition up here as I close in on our sister car, the 91 car, through turn 10 flat out into the final corner, which is turn 11. You can really get in deep and late here. You have to kind of square off the exit. You'll see me pull all the way down into the apex curve before I go to full throttle, and then it's all the way out against the white wall. Very, very quick and technical. Lots of surface changes. It's going to be a great race. Thanks for riding along.
Well, as he said, and as you can see, incredibly technical, no question. He talked about the tire and the preservation that you have to have. But what it also showed, Gal, is there's no respite at this place.
You're up on the wheel. It is a busy, busy lap, and you're holding your breath a lot around this racetrack.
The official safety and pace vehicle, the Acura NSX, into the pit lane. So the field now under control of the front row. That's Miguel Molina in the red R Ferry Ferrari, and Scott Hargrove in the white and black Wright Motorsports Porsche Consulting Porsche here as they start to bunch up, coming through turn 11 and queuing up for the final turn, turn 12. 90 minutes of racing, mandatory stop in the middle, tires fuel, driver, and it all is going to set sail now. And Molina, boy, he rolled into it right as that green came up. And look at Hargrove trying to stay put around the outside.
Oh,
There's a touch. Hargrove, big wiggle, Cal.
Total commitment there. Can he hang on to the second spot? No, he doesn't. One of the Bentleys gets around him. That's Baptista. Molina brought them up really slowly, but Hargrove was totally committed. He wanted the lead.
We've seen Hargrove drive some brilliant opening laps here.
Look at Hedlund there,
Wow.
right in the mix, putting the pressure on Andy Soucek. Oh, there's a touch there. Morad, maybe.
I think that was. Daniel lost that spot. Hedlund got him. Morad trying to fight back. All right, down into the carousel. Tires nowhere near up to temperature and pressure.
What a performance by Mike Hedlund.
That's unreal
battling
what
out
we're
with the
seeing.
big boys and jumping back in a race car for the first time in 7 months.
And I just keep hearkening back to 2014, I think. He was driving for the Scuderia Corsa team, and had a top 3 finish here, so he can get it done, but it's been a while, that's for sure. On board with Hensel, we got some good onboard looks as this race unfolds. Hensel now working on his teammate Morad.
Look at the gap that Hedlund's opened up. Was under immense pressure. Got a good start up through the turn 1-2 complex. Got in front of Morad. Morad put a big attack on him down into turn 4. And Hedlund just rebuffed that and just took off. Baccarella there just dropping a wheel there, exiting turn 10. David Askew there at the back of the pack, coming back from a little bit of an incident in final practice yesterday, but he's someone who seems to rebound from those moments very, very quickly.
Yeah, he shakes it off very well. Molina, there's another look at that start. Watch the move by Hedlund, just went flat around the outside, but there's Hargrove's big moment.
Yeah, it was, and I'm not sure if Molina was just wanting all of that road or whether he saw Hargrove trying to make a move around the outside and didn't want to give him any racing room. It's a great catch by Hargrove. I thought he was going to have a big one there.
Boy,
Look at the pressure there, Hargrove on Baptista. Going to get a run to the inside. Baptista's going to take that inside lane. Hargrove still, oh, that was tight as he swings back across the bumper of the Bentley.
He's going to try and, if he can stay to the outside, tough to do, isn't it?
Yeah, watch Soucek there. He's going to try and take advantage of this battle in front of him. Hargrove is just super aggressive, a real amazing young talent.
Yep.
Porsche looks quick. I think he's maybe frustrated by the pace of the Bentleys around him, that he could be a little bit quicker in chasing and harrying the lead of Molina.
Hargrove, last time he's raced here before was, I think, 2014 in open wheel. And of course, Baptista raced here a couple of years ago, but it was a GT4 Porsche for Flying Lizard.
Well, any track knowledge here is super important.
Yes.
It's just hard to learn a circuit, as we said in one of the earlier races, when it has a lot of elevation change. That adds to the challenge. Porsche's here looking a lot more competitive than we saw up in Canada.
This Porsche has always been an effective weapon here. Boy, that Ferrari, we've talked about it many times. It just doesn't seem to have much of a weak spot at any track. It's always in the hunt. And if it gets out front, it can lead comfortably, can it?
Well, Molina's laid down a lap at 140.2, which is about 6-7 tenths clear of the field right now, and doesn't set you good for tomorrow, but be surprised if we see anything like that in the later going, particularly as you seem to just lose a little bit of a percentage of grip each lap you run here.
Right now, everybody up front is running in the 140s to 142s. It'll be interesting to see when we see those start to drop relatively significantly. We know it's coming at some point, don't we?
Yeah, and let's not forget Matt Campbell had a pole lap in the 136.
Yeah. so
they're running 4 seconds off that pace right now.
You know who else had a really nice start was James Safronis.
Yes,
he did. Second in Pro-Am, 8th overall right now. Got around Bechtelsheimer and Imperato.
Yeah, started 10th overall on the grid, so it's a great start for James. Got his family here, as you would expect, California-based.
Once again, I mean, this is where it's interesting to figure out here what's at play, because we really don't know what the strategy is for these. Are the Allegra boys, are they capable of much quicker speeds and are just looking to preserve tires? What did they start on? You'd think they would. I would imagine everybody would want him started on stickers, wouldn't you?
That's a good point. I thought they had to start on their qualifying set initially, but might be free range.
Hargrove gets the power down in that Porsche so effectively.
Yeah, he really does. Just a different configuration race cars, obviously.
Yes.
The Bentley, the motor up front, Porsche pretty much in the back.
One thing we've seen is when we were up watching the Porsches, once they come over those rises, if they've angled, if they've made the approach right, they can pick the throttle up so much sooner with that engine right like that. Look at this move. Beautiful if it sticks. Look at that. Baptista fighting right back around the outside.
Smart driving, though. Just smart driving by Baptista. Didn't try and close the door. Recognized if I can just hang around the outside, I'll then have the inside for the carousel. Beautiful piece of racecraft there by Rodrigo Baptista.
But he has proven that he is just an exquisite talent, hasn't he?
Yes, he's a quiet young man, but he does, as we've said many times before, does his talking behind the wheel. And he's one of the drivers that will be competing in France for the 24-hour race next weekend. So it's a big month for a lot of these drivers here.
Here's the run into the chicane. Going back to watch this move. You can make a move like that because your speeds aren't so high that you're just massively dependent on the aero, right?
Yes, that's exactly right. So just smart driving there. I mean, Scott didn't overcommit. He just got it down to the inside. Probably felt that he had the position won. Baptista recognized it, opened up his hands a little bit, got the power earlier. And then they just ran side by side before the brake zone for the next one, and Rodrigo was on the inside.
Here's this great battle as Sofronis continues to fend off Imperato.
And I'll tell you what could be a fantastic battle. Oh, did he flow speed in there?
Wow.
What could be when you look at who this top three in the Pro-Am class are going to turn over to. Headland's going to turn over Dane Cameron. Sofronis is going to turn over to Doug Werner. Yes. Imperato's going to turn over to Matt Campbell, who laid down the lap of the day in qualifying. So that could be a big battle.
I believe officially from you that would be tasty.
Very.
Yes. Hargrove slips
through.
He
has. He's got through.
Yeah.
Got by Baptista, now got traffic in between him. So this is going to be key for Hargrove, really get the hammer down. I would think we'll see one of these Bentleys dive in.
Here comes Milstein, and you're right, Baptista's in. Looked like Soucek stayed out.
Yeah, Arena stayed out too, so this will be the key for Soulé, who gets the first shot at some fresh Pirelli's P0s.
You said it's 73?
76 seconds.
76 seconds.
Yeah. And that's not easy to achieve. It only gives you about 31 seconds to get everything done. There was a bit of a miscalculation initially. They thought it was about 41 seconds to reverse down pit lane. It's actually about 45, but they didn't adjust the minimum stop time, so that just puts more and more pressure on the crew. Or if you can execute a great one, it really gives you the advantage. Soulé in there, ready to go. Right-hand drive Bentley, of course.
These guys have been absolutely brilliant in the stop department, Capex has, all year long.
They have had that one little flare up, literally.
Yeah.
Catch there with just amazing how tiny little things can go wrong. Just the tire caught, hot rubber on the door.
And that pit stall they have where you can see how close they were to the end of it. That was one of the things that they were addressing in a lot of the driver meetings. Was they said you've got to be very, very careful because there's virtually nothing from when you release this. Molina's in.
Yeah, you had to respond.
Yes.
I think this is the perfect way to play it. They could have been in, and they elected to wait that one lap. It had been a lot tighter. We didn't see where Molina was on the racetrack when that window opened, but I think he was good to come in the previous lap, but they waited for one of the other leaders to come in.
This is going to be fascinating to see. Now, of course, they had a sizable margin.
Typically tell how quick the stop is by if there's any delay in releasing the car.
Yes.
Bottom of the gun. Bottom of the gun. He had it on the wrong way initially, so he was finding it, which makes it even harder to get off. Just adding a little bit of tightness to that.
They're struggling. Something's not right with that gun.
Yeah, this is not going to be a clean one. I'd imagine once they've finished this tire stop, they'll just send him. This hasn't been their forte.
No, it hasn't. Uh-oh. Something wrong here.
What happened there? There's a little sequencing that all of the teams do a little bit differently. Something went amiss on the Hargrove stop.
125. That's way long here for Molina.
Yeah, that's 9 seconds outside of the minimum, so. This should put Soule way closer to Vilander than he had any right to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other side of the coin is how far back will Long be now, because that stop was not clean.
Yeah. Well, you see it. So Soule has the track position on Parent, and he has hot tires. So that undercut work there just between the two Bentleys even.
Yes.
This is Cameron behind De Quesada.
Looked like De Quesada maybe ran a little wide in the chicane there. Nice run out of 11.
This is where it gets tricky when you're leading your own class, but you've got an overall car right in front of you.
But you also know you've got some very fast guys in your class behind you. So
yeah, that ramps up the intensity and the desire to get by him.
He'd like to slide through and get that little bit of a buffer. Whoa, and a big ride there by De Quesada.
Well, he took a lot of speed in because he gapped Cameron through 3, but he needed more room on the exit to run that speed.
That was fantastic. And as we ride on board now with Dane Cameron, the guy that put that car up into the lead of the class, is with Ryan. What a day, Ryan.
Yeah, Mike Hedlund, the guys in the booth are just raving about your stint in the car, and well-deserved. Did you miss this stuff?
I did a lot. Once the green flag dropped, it's like all automatic. You're just fighting and hustling, and once we spread out a bit, I didn't want to get in the way of Wolf. I tried to stay in front, but he and the other pro Porsche, they were just too quick, so I kind of made it easy for him to get by, so I didn't ruin their race. And I just pushed as hard as I could.
Well, good work today. We'll see you tomorrow, and maybe we'll see you in victory lane.
Cool, thank you.
Got a bunch of fluid coming out of the back of the number 31 Ferrari.
Not so much about Cameron being prepared to wait on De Quesada.
Yeah.
I'll have some of that. Big race for Dane. His dad and mum still live just down the road, so home race for him.
Yep.
His uncle Steve Cameron competes in this championship as well, and it's home race for them, so this is nice. Got his family out here. It's been a busy racing season, campaigning in 2 different championships. Looking for his 4th win in about 6 weeks.
Doing pretty well.
Oh, you see, that's how this set up. De Quesada, just a big mistake there. Want to give it to him, and Dane's got the run.
And De Quesada's got dirty tires here, right? Coming around, looking for that white flag. 1 more lap to go here at Sonoma Raceway. Tony Vilander, Miguel Molina, R. Ferry. As we go back on board the CrowdStrike Mercedes of Kurtz and Brown behind the wheel right now.
Miller done a great job. He is. Just not flinching.
Ooh,
big
did
wiggle
there.
there, big wiggle. Collins got a run. Chooses the left side. Will he try and flick to the inside? Nowhere to go with it. Oh, and he loses that big time.
Yeah.
That Rover slow, gets out in the gray, no grip out there, couldn't hit the gas.
Well, he had to make the decision to not lose that run, didn't he? And just ended up, the only thing that Miller smartly was giving him was that outside. As Tony now for the last time working through the legendary S's here at Sonoma Raceway.
I tell you what, we saw those problems with the wheel gun and getting the wheels changed. If that had been delayed just 3 or 4 more seconds, we could be looking at a totally different complexion with Tony trying to chase down those Bentleys. But they had enough in hand with the gap that Molina had built to get away with the snafu in pit lane.
And even taking that back a little bit farther, if Hargrove hadn't had the issue at the start and was there in second, that complexion could have changed. But that's the ifs of motorsports, isn't it? And the simple fact of the matter is Tony Vilander, Miguel Molina, R. Ferry, and Ferrari win at Sonoma Raceway and pad that point lead. Soule fending Parent off for second and third on the podium.
Got long, he's chased down that group in
Sure
front
has.
of him.
And Molina just was absolutely superb, as he always is as well.
He just quietly gets it done, doesn't he?
Yeah, he really does.
This
Speaking
isn't
of getting it
going down
done,
quietly.
I was going to say. Coming.
Oh, I think Collins tried to roll off the brake there, maybe loosen up a little bit. Wasn't quite close enough to make it happen.
What a finish. And Miller hanging on to fourth.
Nice job.
Yeah, it was. And
Miller, Till Bechtelsheimer, fourth in Pro-Am.
here's a look at the provisional results. And again, just a great story with Hedlund and Cameron there. 5th overall, winning in the Pro-Am category. Battle with Imperato and Campbell and Sophronis and Werner in the Porsches. And yeah.
Probably a little more intense than they thought it was going to be.
Yes, with that longest stop. But well, and I mean, you know, to put it in perspective, had Molina not had that run, he would have had a lot less margin with that pit stop. Ryan?
It's a happy celebration down here, that's for sure. Miguel came leaping in to congratulate you, Tony. How much fun was that today?
It was good fun. A new track for both of us, and I think also for our team. So we are missing our engineer Roberto Capitosto, who is at home. So Luigi Dean, the perfect replacement. The godfather, the king of Sonoma, was with us. So really good. This is a hard track for the tires. So basically Miguel did our victory in the beginning, just awesome pace. A little bit aggressive in the start, but you need to be. Scott Hargrove is one of the toughest fighters of our opponents, so great job, great moment going into turn 1 at the start. A bit scary, but after that, just a clean pit stop, and then was a good run.
That's the sign of a real pro. Let's get back down to Ryan with our Pro-Am winners.
Dane Cameron and Mike Hedlund got it done in Pro-Am. Dane, you had the closing stint. You also had some out-of-class traffic that you had to deal with. You knew they were going to be aggressive. How did you manage that?
Yeah, I wasn't really too worried about them. I just thought if I had some pace to go by, I didn't want to get held up and get pushed back into the Pro-Am category. So for me, I mean, finishing higher up overall is always nice. It's a nice little bonus, but it really doesn't mean anything. At the end of the day, we're in Pro-Am, so we're here to win Pro-Am. We did that. Mike had a really great opening stint. Did a phenomenal job in qualifying to be P1, first time in the car for him. So we're lucky to have him available this weekend. And yeah, great to get another win here. And thanks to Real Time, HPD, Acura for a great car. And we'll see if we can get another one tomorrow.
Greg Creamer joined by Calvin Fish again here for the 8th round of the Blancpain GT World Challenge America Championship. Here we go, time to get after it. And on board, Matt Campbell, the number 91 Wright Motorsport Porsche, Tony Vilander alongside. Talk about youth and exuberance versus veteran experience, both of them wickedly quick.
Vilander's got to think of the big picture. He's got a very aggressive young driver on the pole position to his inside.
And Dirk Werner right behind him. He's surrounded by fast Porsches at this stage as we're green. Huge move by the Bentley. Boy, did Pirelli time that. That was incredible, Cal.
Yeah,
and a big off of the Ferrari.
Problems there deeper into the pack, but a great move by the Bentley. Hopefully he didn't jump his line there. You can't make a move too early. Suze will be reviewing that one, but it looked like anticipated it perfectly.
As soon as it goes green, everybody get going. A huge move by Dane Cameron up along the inside. Almost got by Skeen in the Mercedes.
Now he looks to the inside. Big moves here by Dane Cameron. Deep into the brakes into turn 4. Skeen doesn't want to give it to him. There's a little touch as they come off the corner.
Yeah, Rubbin's racing, and they're doing a little bit of it here. So we're on board looking. What a shot. There's the number 19, one of the 111 competition Ferraris, the number 19 of Andy Lally. This is his first time racing a Ferrari. He's coached in them, he's driven them in testing, but he's never raced one. Not the start he wanted to have, but look at Matt Campbell. Boy, he was so impressive at qualifying. He's opened up that little margin.
He certainly has. We expect him to be aggressive at the start, and he's certainly very quick through that first sector. Key is going to be for Tony Vilander just hanging on to him, just trying to keep him in touch. Remember, Anthony Imperato, one of the AM drivers, is going to be taking over the reins of that number 91, and you would have to feel that Molina may have a little bit more pace as we see the safety car deployed immediately on this first lap.
We saw the 111-19 of Lally, the Ferrari having an issue, but there it is.
To the right corner.
Yep, he got going again, but couldn't sustain it, obviously, and whenever you see tires, especially tire barriers with marks in them, that generally means that's not a spot you want to have a car parked. And so early on, we have a full course caution, and the safety car will come out, and everybody gets a little bit of a reset here as well. So, and problems for that machine that day should be done at this point. So it's Campbell leading over Vilander, Pro-Am over Pro. Long in the number 58 Wright Porsche sits third. Let's go back, take a look at the start. And I don't know, it looked to me like Pirelli read it perfectly.
Yeah, it looked like a really great start. And I know the K-Pax team, there's that little bump there going into turn 1. So Campbell has a nice lead as they come off of the turn 2 sector. But watch this move by Dane Cameron. Really aggressive moves there. That bright orange and white. Real-time accurate, elbows his way inside, tries to make a move on Skeen as they come through turn 3 here. He'll plow it down to the inside, but Skeen rebuffs him a little bit as they come off the corner.
And there's the moment as the car spun around, apparent contact on that right rear corner. And now, car is parked to the side as Andy Lally sits track side. All right, looking for the green to go back to racing. Remember, on a restart, you cannot pass before start-finish line as the green flag flies. Campbell getting a good jump. Vilander in second, and look at Parent already up on it. He's looking to try and get around Dirk Werner, not enough room.
Big compression here up into turn 2, everyone behaving nicely. A little bit more tire temperature this go-around.
Rest of the field coming up and through. There's Mike Skeen. Mercedes on board now with Colin Brown in the CrowdStrike Mercedes. That's the number 5 Gradient Acura.
How close do you like it? Watch the elevation change as they approach the carousel. Up and over the hill, you can see the cracks in the pavement. Very old, very abrasive, trying to get back on the power early to get a run on Mark Miller ahead of him.
Tony Vilander continues to give chase in the R. Ferry Ferrari to the overall leader, Matt Campbell, in the Pro-Am number 91 Wright Motorsports Porsche. Campbell is starting to ease away just a little bit. This front group sort of giving themselves plenty of room between each of themselves here as Vilander's built a little bit of a margin to long, Cal.
Yeah, Campbell's fastest lap is almost a second clear of the rest of the field right now, so he's got the hammer down early, established that lead. And very impressive performance by that young Australian. What a talent he is. Already has won some big races in the global perspective, but what a lap he laid down in qualifying yesterday, Greg. We were all just gobsmacked by that first sector, and he completed the lap and had a huge margin over the Ferrari that looked to be dominant.
As you speak of Ferraris, look at the number 7 of Martin Fuentes back out, and certainly running very quickly right now.
You see De Quesada there a little bit wide. Soule is all over the back of these Porsches. Got to be careful. They're working on a big deficit in the points now. Baptista and Soule were right in the mix. They now find themselves in third position, but 20 points back of the Ferrari Motorsport Ferrari. That was close there in Halter. The reason being, Soule dives down to the inside. Thought he's evading De Quesada. He's making room for Soule. Had made that big out braking move down into the brake zone for turn 11.
Boy, and that was a study in great track awareness by Holzer, wasn't it? When we're seeing De Quesada, that spoiler maybe just a little bit off, struggling just a little bit, and Ryan has found his co-driver.
Yes, Daniel Morad joining me here, watching as we all are on the screen. And you notice the same thing with the splitter bouncing around, perhaps not quite as intact as you would like. You had this situation recently at the VIR round. What does that feel like? What is Michael dealing with?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, in VIR, that was last season, but essentially with these modern-day GT3 cars, the front splitter is very, very sensitive, and it produces quite a lot of downforce. So when you have that aero disturbance in the front end, you just lose all your front grip, essentially. So it's going to be affecting him more in the higher speed corners. Braking zones, we just got overtaken now. Yeah, so he's struggling probably in the brake zones where it's going to be really difficult with front locking. You don't have that pressure on the front wheels. So, I mean, I'll make the most of it and see if I can make some passes and collect some points for the team.
All right, Long has stopped. He's out. Recognizable helmet. Scott Hargrove going on board.
Brent is in. 24 cars in. Mark Miller's in as well. I think his tires may have been going away. Looking at his pace there the last 2 or 3 laps. And a snafu on the Wright Motorsports tire change yesterday. I think they may have had the rear tire at the front or vice versa and created a massive delay. Lost them a lot of time in pits.
They were a little bit long, Cal, for Hargrove. Not terrible, but a bit long.
It's pretty good within 2 seconds. Not too bad.
Boy, and that release for Parent is so tight.
Oh,
they did it again.
Yeah, they did it again, but it's a problem.
Yeah?
76. No, they're okay. They get the 1 second joker.
Exactly. All right, are we looking on the times here? A little long. The 91.
Well, I'm curious to see. I believe that the 58 car has gotten around to the 61, and that's by doing the undercut. If they have done that. Getting Hargrove out there on some fresh Pirelli P0s. Pretty similar in terms of the pit stop time. Now Imperato behind the wheel.
Here's a look at the 61 of Molina.
Yeah, so great job by Wright Motorsports. They run 1 and 2 right now, leading both classes, of course, with Imperato now behind the wheel of the 91. So Pat Long was one of the first to make that pit stop. They got Hargrove in. He had some mighty outlaps on fresh Pirelli P0s, created a gap. Remember, the 58 was behind the 61 before the pit stops, Greg, and now it's 6 seconds down the road.
Yeah, by, what, a couple of seconds, so they made up a lot of time. Hargrove, very aggressive. Baccarella in the number 7. I thought he saw him and was going to let him go. Finally, lets him slide through. So the number 58 of Hargrove, well placed right now. Wright Motorsports leading 1-2. So Hargrove now into the lead. Imperato 2 seconds back, but Molina a 1.5 second deficit to Imperato.
And now for Imperato, he just needs to settle in, find a rhythm again. It'll be in his head a little bit. Hey, I'm dropping positions here. You are still leading your class position. Just settle in. As you can see now, Soucek really starting to put the pressure on Imperato. Imperato has to give it to him. Soucek up into a podium position. But the big thing I like about the point structure, Greg, it's a 7-point swing. That's hard to just sit there and not take.
Truly.
It's like a big piece of cake. You want to bite it.
Well, and it's funny, you know, depending upon who you talk to in the paddock, they'll say that's just too big because they should tighten it up, pay points down a little bit deeper. And I said, I'm all for paying points down a little bit deeper. I want a big swing first to second because it's motivational.
It is, and that's what it should be all about, winning, being consistent over a year, getting the podiums, getting the results, executing. But a win should be well and truly rewarded.
Look here as Hargrove comes through the margin. It dropped to 2.7 last time through. And he responds again. Every time Molina trims it down a little bit, Cal, Hargrove finds something.
Yeah, I think he has equal pace, and Tony Vilander alluded to it, that they're not going to try and take any unnecessary risk here for those extra 7 points that are on the table between first and second, even if Molina gets there. And that's the important thing. You know your competitors. We see Hedlund here having a really strong run. He needs to clear this traffic immediately because he has cut a 25-second deficit down to 20 seconds for the class lead. So Imperato continues to run laps in the 43-44 range, whereas Hedlund's been cutting laps in the 41s consistently. He's really cutting into that margin. So you said it was a lonely race for him, Greg, but the nice thing is over the radio, he's got some targets to keep hitting.
You know that crew is keeping him informed. Keeping him informed of everything that's unfolding. Now he needs to figure a way to get by Baccarella as fast as possible.
Right now.
Oh, and he was that a touch?
I think there may have been a touch.
Yes.
Baccarella just loses it up over the exit of turn 3, and I think that Hedlund may have clipped him.
I think so. Damage certainly to that right front corner.
Wait to see if there's any damage on that 43 machine.
Yeah. Watch it right here, Cal.
Yeah, he's often in the dirt and then just goes sideways right across. Nowhere for Mike Hedlund to go. Clips the left front, and that's what breaks the right front of Cesar Baccarella's Ferrari.
It looked like there might be a little bit of damage to both the left front and rear on Hedlund's car. Watch it here. There's that first touch, and you can see that little move again when Baccarella's car swung the other way, and it just kissed that left rear corner, but it didn't look like the damage on the 43 was significant. The Acura NSX safety vehicle is in. Here we go. Hargrove bringing him up real slow, drops the hammer. Wanted to use the drive of that engine right over those drive wheels, and Soucek looked like he may have timed it well. Here comes Molina as well. It's going to get crowded up into turn 2.
Hargrove, nice job there controlling that restart, but Soucek is looking super racy right now, trying to put the pressure on the Ferrari.
To say, Imperato did a really nice job to get around the lap 111 Ferrari and hold on to that. He had that 4th spot anyway, but now he's put some more cars between himself and Hedlund.
Things settling in here. Oh, another problem here.
It's David Askew.
Had a crash here on Thursday up through turn 1. Safety car again, another reset.
Oh boy.
It's the exit of the carousel, isn't it?
Yeah.
There he is, maybe just dropped a wheel. Just hooked across the road. Decent impact there. I'm sure his day is done, but Zeno climbs out.
When does Hargrove go here?
Close.
He likes bringing him up slow.
He's controlling that. Now it's going to be a 2-lap shootout.
Yeah. He likes bringing him up slow. Now he goes. Boy, Molina went to it right away with just that little bit of squirt from that Porsche. A look at Soucek. So close, and here comes Hensler.
He's looking.
He sure was.
Imperato there. There goes Safronis looking for the move.
He actually had a better run through the corner, didn't he? But he had nowhere to go with it.
Bright blue and white Porsche with the orange wing. That's in second position, trying to force the battle on Imperato for the Pro-Am class win. Hedlund still in the mix, but buffered by the Bentley to get to those leaders.
And for that Bentley, it is crucial to be able to get up and maybe pass one or two of these cars. Remember, scored on the overall points. Oh, Imperato's way wide through the carousel. There goes Safronis, new leader in Pro-Am.
Just that little error there. Just couldn't get the grip on the front end of that Porsche. Gives it up. Safronis, based here in California. There goes Hedlund. Did Hedlund get inside of Baptista? Yes, he does.
Oh, my.
He hasn't given up.
He certainly hasn't.
Baptista's a lap down, so he's just letting these drivers go at it, which is a really smart move, and I think everyone will respect that. Here comes Hedlund on Imperato.
Oh, Imperato drifted over. Hedlund had that, it looked like he might have had that move done.
Doesn't have time to play with it if he's going to go for the win, because Sofronis has romped down the road a little bit.
He's trying to square up underneath. Good grip down there. You've talked about it on that curb. Well, that he got quite enough of a run as the white flag is out. This is it. Hargrove comes through 7/10 clear of Molina. Another 9 to Soucek. Hensler there. Hedlund looking.
Move. He's still got that Porsche to his flank. They're side by side through 2. Hedlund's going to have the inside run into turn 3. Brilliant move.
Oh, Mike Hedlund on the wheel this weekend. It is superb what we're seeing from Mike Hedlund.
Damaged race car, can't
yes.
have it 100%. Sofronis is down the road a little ways, though.
That is your top 3, 4, and 5 going through right there.
There's Sofronis, the Pro-Am lead. There's second place, Mike Hedlund. It's a big gap. Too much to make up unless Sofronis makes a mistake. He'll just be trying to hit his marks and bring it home. Porsche still leads with Hargrove. Molina in the Ferrari, the championship leader, about 7/10 back.
Soucek fading just a little bit here. Hargrove, final time into the chicane.
It's been about 15 months since he's seen victory lane here.
This is going to be big. There's Molina. Soucek looks like he's got enough. And Sofronis, in fact, taking a run at Morad here. It's not for a class position, so he doesn't have to risk much, but here we go. After a long drought, Scott Hargrove takes the Wright Motorsports Porsche and brings it to the win here in round 8 of the Blancpain GT World Challenge at Sonoma Raceway. Absolutely delightful. Best finish for that team thus far this season. Molina second, Soucek third. And how about Global Motorsports Group not running the full season? And Sofronis coming in here and bringing with him a pretty good weapon to start this race, certainly. Just a great job and bring home a win, a fighting win with Dirk Werner in Pro-Am. A few great stories. First win of the season for the Wright Motorsports team. As you said, first win for Hargrove in some time. And the R-Ferry Ferrari, they would have liked those extra 7 points, but more importantly, they've opened that margin up just a little bit more.
A little bit more.
Looking forward to hearing from our winners. The helmet and balaclava come off, and there's Ryan Marine. Ready?
Scott Hargrove, congratulations. Back in victory lane.
It's been a while.
It has been. What does it feel like?
You know, I feel like it's been a hard luck year, and it's finally over. So the boys did a phenomenal job. Pat had an awesome qualifying, held it in third, and then, of course, did a great job in the pit stops. Wright Motorsports guys were on it, and we managed to jump the Ferrari. So, you know, our Porsche was absolutely on rails, and yeah, I'm just so happy to be back in victory lane.
Well, James, I'm not sure that this was necessarily on your schedule at the beginning of the year, but here you stand, GT3 victory lane once again.
Well, it was on the schedule with Brent Holden, who is a great friend and a partner in the car. He couldn't make it, and in fact, he did a great job in Montreal here, so congrats to him. But, you know, I love World Challenge, you know that. Been here, I think this is like 250 starts. Porsche's been so good to me. The GMG boys really put together an awesome car. At the end, we could just run with the top pros, so it gave me a lot of confidence. We just needed some good luck in the yellows to make up a couple of gaps. But once we closed the gap and we had position, I was definitely going to take it.
Congratulations to both of you.
Awesome, thanks.
A fantastic result for the Wright Motorsports duo. Next up for the drivers and teams at the end of August, they head back east to New York and Watkins Glen.